There we go. Welcome, everybody. My name is Galit Ventura Rosen, and I am co-founder of Everyday Woman with the Fabulous
Angela Giles, and I am so excited to be here today and to talk about how to become a published author. It's lots of fun, and we have lots of goodies to share with you.
Yes, we're very excited to be sharing this with you. Ladies, you want to stay till the end. We're not going to keep you more than 30 minutes. If you're watching this in replay, make sure to stay till the end because we have some really great goodies at the end about how to get your book published and so many other things that you don't want to miss. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. Please feel free to ask any questions in the chat if you're here attending live. And you are also welcome to share them at the end when we turn off the recording to jump on with your video and ask any questions as well. Take it away, Angela.
All right. Before we actually can share with you the steps on how to become a published author, let's talk about how to get your book written, right? Like you have to start somewhere. So the very first thing that you want to do is think about an idea. And I always do this. And this is my little tip, and Galit may have a little tip. If you have a lot of ideas running around in your head, what I do is I actually take out a pen and a piece of paper and I like brain dump everything. You know why? For some reason, it really feels like my creativity, my juices work so much better when I'm like actually like writing it out on paper. So I encourage you to do a brain dump if you have a bunch of different ideas. And then the second thing that you're going to want to do is decide how long you want the book to be. And I know that there's all kinds of different lengths of books, right, Galit?
Yes, and hang tight with me because we're still adding people. So just one moment.
Yeah. So think about this. You could write a short book, a short story type of book. You could write, I mean, there's a lot of different types of books you can write. You can write a self-help type of book, like all kinds. So Galit, I'm going to let you take this away.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Angela. We're playing techie assistant and hosts today. So I know all of you know exactly what we're talking about. So thank you for being patient with us. There are multiple types of books you can write. Now we have the most common book, which really is the ebook. And this is a book that's going to be way shorter. And a lot of times it's going to be offered in an opt-in to potentially get clients that read your book and then want to be a part of working with you or a part of one of your groups. This can be a way shorter book. You're not going to give away all the goodies, but you're going to share with people some tips. So let's say we wrote a book called How to Publish Your Book, right? And that book is going to be really short with probably just what we're covering today in the PowerPoint. A novel is a story that's make-believe, and you want to write a fiction book, which is, I have so many friends that do that and they love to write that. A self-help book, which a lot of us in the coaching industry and expertise industry, we write these self-help books, which is giving you logical steps and ways that you can go ahead and take these and implement them into your business or your life or whatever expertise that you're going to be writing on, and anything related to your business. And will you be selling it or giving it away as a freebie is the key. A lot of people will sell the book. They'll sell the Kindle for a little bit less just to get that clientele, or they'll give it away with an opt-in where they're getting somebody's email and then building their database of potential clients.
You know, Galit, I think we've written to combined or by ourselves every single type of this book except
yes, we have.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't done a novel.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I don't see myself doing a novel anytime soon. I think I'm definitely in the self-help, and you and I both. But the novel, I've had friends that have done it, and they just love writing stories that are make-believe, that are fiction.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Why are you writing a book? So this is what I want you to think about. Why are you writing a book? Are you writing it to get more clients? Like Galit said, like with an ebook is a nice way to do that. Are you writing a book to get more speaking gigs? You know, it gives you that authority out there. So it helps you stand out. I will tell you this. I really believe someone will choose, if you have the same credentials, the same fun personality, all of that to get on stage, but you have a book and the other person doesn't. I can almost guarantee you that you will get hired versus someone that doesn't have a book if you're, getting paid to speak. The other thing is having a book for publicity is so important. It just helps you stand out. It gives you more credibility. And then the last thing is really having a book to sell, like actually sell. There are people that make their living just selling their book, and that's their thing. So the next thing that's really important, and I find that this is critical, especially for Gleet and I mean, this is how we work, is set a deadline when you want your book to get done. And then you can retro engineer all the steps that you need to put into place to write the book, right? Because if you don't set a deadline, then, it could stretch out. It could be 3 months and 6 months and a year, and then 2 years and 5 years go by, and then you haven't written the book that you really wanted to write. So it's important to set a deadline, but set a realistic deadline. The next thing, and this I'm sure Glee will have something to say about, is figure out how much you can write in one setting. Because I know when I first met Galit, she was writing her book, The Successful Woman's Mindset. I remember this vividly because she would go down to San Diego for the weekend and sit and write like a chapter, because it was a nice, relaxing place and they had a second home there. So I just vividly remember that. And she has told me, hey, I can't do more than one like chapter because it's just too much. So everybody's different. So you need to think about that. And then I love this. You want to set up appointments to write to meet your goals. So you could actually open your calendar, right? And you could say that you pick Sunday afternoons. And you're like, okay, I'm going to write every other Sunday afternoon. I'm going to set aside 2 hours to write. And there you go. So that's an example of what we recommend that you do.
And
Any other tips there,
one
Glee?
of the women that are joining us live today said, is it bad that I want to write it for all those reasons? No. You want to write it for all of those reasons, but if there's only one, it's okay as well. It doesn't have to be all of the reasons. Typically, Angela and I write our books for all of these reasons. There isn't one here. We probably could add another 10. Also, I want to share with you that making an appointment with yourself is so important because life happens, distractions happen, something else shows up that's important. When I wrote my first book 2 years ago, I was asked, how do you have time to write a book? I said, I set aside time when it's completely pin drop quiet in my home, and I only wrote at home, never at my office. And I focused on knowing, and for me, it's about an hour and a half, Angela, where I can go an hour and a half with writing, and then I've got to stop. So I set up those appointments like I would with a paying client. That's how serious I took it. And that's how I wrote my book in just a few months, which is 35,000 words and over 200 pages. But you've got to commit to it. And someone just asked, let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. Someone just asked, how long did it take you to write that book, which I just mentioned, 3 to 4 months. What was your timeline and did it go as planned? Yes. I'm a goal-focused entrepreneur. And I
Absolutely.
Yeah, for me, when I set a goal, it happens. Even with COVID, it happened. So yes, for me, it does, but everybody's different. And I was so crystal clear focused because I knew exactly what I was going to write on. My title was picked. My chapter titles were picked. It was so clear to me that my problem was I didn't have more time in the same week to write as much as I would have liked to. So when you get real crystal clear, it's a little bit easier. Why become a published author? Well, I call the book the 21st century business card. That's what I call it. There isn't a client that Angela and I have in our mastermind or in our private coaching that we don't say, write a book. I don't care if it's an ebook. I don't care if it's self-help book, but write a book. Because today it shows you as an authority. When you're going out and speaking, when you're going on podcasts, when you're going on interviews, that's going to give you the authority, the credibility, and the visibility. It's just what it is. So you might say, well, everybody's writing a book today. No, everybody's not. It just feels like it because probably in your circles, because you're surrounded with like-minded women, everyone's writing a book, but it's not true. And it absolutely does make you stand out, like Angela said, especially when it comes to conferences and events for speaking, which is another way to use your book.
So I think that this is very, very important. why should you become a published author? First of all, I think financial stability is really important, especially in today's space, right? So when we say financial stability, there's a couple different ways you can look at a book. You can look at your book as where you're just selling the book, and that's how you're going to do it. And you're going to sell, hundreds, thousands of copies and make your money that way. The other way is your book is, like Galit said, your calling card. It gives you that credibility. Yes, you're selling it, but that's not where you necessarily make all your money. What you may make your money from is the coaching clients or the programs you enroll people in because they've read your book. Or if you're a speaker and your book gives you that credibility, and then you enroll people into programs or you get paid. So there's a little bit of both there, but it starts with the book, right? It also opens the door to invitations to lots of different things, like podcasts, summits,
Summits.
TV, even TV, media, like all that kind of stuff. Having the book just gives you that incredible credibility. We already talked a little bit about consulting income. I shared that with you already. And also leaving your legacy. I think that this is really important. I wrote my book on communication because I've always thought, since I remember in junior high, I taught myself how to speed read, and I always would articulate. I grew up without a TV, parents' choice. I would always articulate to people all the things I read. I would tell everybody, "Oh, I read this and I read that." Ask Galit. I'll text her at 10 at night and say, "Did you know?" Because I read everything, right? So for me, like when I wrote my book, I wrote it on communication because that is my legacy. I think communicating about things, about relationships, which is what I do, communication is like the foundation of life. So it's a legacy for me. That's what I want to be known for, is really effective communication in everything that you do, because I think it makes life easier and better. So think about these kind of things. Why do you want to become a published author? Maybe all these reasons, but maybe there's specific things that I went over here that are rattling around in your mind.
Yes, and there's special. I most recently was asked to blog with 10 other authors for 10 weeks. I mean, there's so many opportunities for authors. You get to add it in your bio. It gives you credibility. There's a lot of advantages to being an author. It lets your potential clients get to know you in a different light. How to become a published author? Well, of course, you can choose to write your own book, but there's other ways as well. And we're going to be covering both in great detail. We have women on this call that want to write their own book, and we have women on this call that want to be part of a book. So we'll be talking about them in great detail, so don't leave us till the end. You can choose to write your own book. Now, what's an anthology? An anthology means that you are now becoming part of a book with other authors and writing a chapter in the book. And we're going to be sharing how amazing it is. Sometimes writing your own book is overwhelming as the first book, but you become part of a collaboration with other authors that are usually the people that are putting it together are very well known. And then the other authors are like, wait, I want to be part of the book that they're putting together. So hang tight. We'll be going through all that in great detail.
So
Well, we kind of already covered this, but I think what I wanted to, Angela, you know what? I'll let you talk a little bit about number 2, but I think we already talked about joining an anthology.
yeah, so what I want to do is we're going to talk about writing your own book, and we'll go into detail. But before we go into detail, I want to let you know that we actually have a publisher that we have used, Galit has specifically used, that is amazing, and she's on this call. So we can make an introduction to you if this is something, because I know someone wrote in chat that they were talking about how do you find an editor? How much do you expect to pay to publish the book? So we can connect you with her if you're interested in writing a book and want a publisher.
Yes, and what we're going to do is at the end of the call, we ask that you private message either one of us through Facebook, and then we will do a personal introduction, because this publisher does not work with everybody, and we want to make sure that we connect you and we know, okay, wait, we ask a few questions and then we connect you, and then you guys will meet. You guys can chat on video and set it up. So let me go ahead and talk about why would you choose to write your own book. So we're going to start with why should you write your own book, and then why should you be part of an anthology, and then you can decide which one works best for you, or better yet, do both. That's what Angela and I have done. We've been part of I've been part of 2 anthologies so far. I don't know how many you've been, at least 2, Angela.
One anthology and one book.
Yeah, so I'm 1 book and 2 anthologies. And then now I'm starting to write my 2nd book, and I'm going to be part of another anthology. So it's a great way to get yourself out there. But let's talk about writing your own book first. You're totally in charge of your own book from start to finish, the content, the cover, the publishing, the marketing. It gives you credibility. It gives you opportunities for speaking, podcast, and I also have to tell you that number 2 and number 3, you're also going to get being part of an anthology. You don't get complete control of your book when you're part of one, but you get final say on your chapter, final say on your graphics, final say on your bio, final say on your pictures. So you do get some control with the anthology as well, especially if you're working with great collaborators, which we'll be sharing with you what Angela and I have in the works. We're really fun to work with when it comes to that. Go ahead, Angela.
So if you're interested in writing your own book, let's talk about graphics. So you have to do graphics, like create your book cover, which is really important. And I will tell you, especially if you decide to self-publish and you go on Amazon, you need to have a really great book cover so that it's catchy, right? You are responsible for editing and proofreading. So you have to find a really good editor that will proofread your stuff, because the last thing you want to do is put your book out there and then have people contact you and say, oh, well, you have this grammatical error, because there's grammar Nazis out there. So I'm not one of those. I'm the exact opposite.
I've had those show up in my reviews.
Yeah. And I just laugh, because I'm like, if someone has time to complain to you about a grammar or whatever, formatting is something you're responsible for. You are also responsible for uploading it to all the sites, where you're going to sell it, like Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Kindle, Apple, like all of those sites. If you're writing your own book, now, if you have a publisher, they can run a best-selling marketing campaign for you and use their connections and lists,
and do everything else on this list too.
Yeah, true. So that's why, it's like you can do it all yourself. Like, I am not saying you can't. You totally can do it all yourself. However, if you have a publisher, like our amazing publisher that we can connect you with, that we have used, you can just breathe. It's nice. And they can help you along the way. It really is.
Yes. And we're going to be covering some more that a publisher would cover for you, but I also want to respond to the question. People are using ghostwriters. I'm not going to tell you if you should or shouldn't use a ghostwriter. That's a personal choice. A ghostwriter interviews you and then writes the book for you. Many people use them. I personally like to write my own books, but there's no judgment. I know someone right now that's using a ghostwriter. Basically, they interview her on camera, ask her a bunch of questions, and then they write the story for her. I personally like writing it myself because I want it to be my voice. So I think that has to be a personal choice. And also, I've never thought of myself as a writer in my entire life, and I was able to do it, which means you can do it as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm so sorry, but it should have said hire a publisher to do all the work for you, which Angela took care of. Why would you choose to become part of an anthology? Now, this is something that Angela and I have gotten such a passion for. And I just put together my first anthology with 20 authors that's being launched next week. And it's been such an amazing experience that Angela and I decided that we want to do this for everyday women. And I'll tell you why. We had so many women, Angela's part of the book as well. We had so many women ask to be part of the book we put together. That was 20 women that we decided, 21 actually, that we decided, let's do something bigger and let's do something more affordable to the everyday woman. And I'll be really honest with you. The anthology I put together cost $2,000 a person. And we had so many women that said, well, I want to have this, but that's too much. So we worked with our publisher to put together a program that we'll be covering with you soon to show you how to be part of a book. And for right now, I just want to cover with you why you should be part of it. So the first thing is this. We're going to have, if we have 50 women for a book, you are now being cross-promoted across the audience, the tribe, the social media, the clients of 49 other people. That is just, that's like worth everything.
Yeah, it's the social media promotion there, and some of them send it out to their email list. I mean, that's huge. Trust me,
Yeah.
I'm the queen of social media. That will like catapult you.
It could put you in front of millions of people easily. So that's the first thing. The second thing is it's way less overwhelming. You write a chapter, you hand it over, and everything's done for you. The only thing you have to do is write your chapter. That's it. A lot of the authors that are part of the book that we put together, they're excited because even though they got overwhelmed this big, they knew that they'd be overwhelmed this big writing their own book, which, by the way, if you want to write your book, please do. Our goal today is to get you published with us or on your own. But I want to share with you that it's a great stepping stone. So what happened is all these authors have had such a great experience. Now they understand the process that they said, I'm going to write my own book now. Okay, can you see me okay, Angela? My internet went unstable. It's a great start to writing your own book one day. It also gives you speaking, podcast, and other opportunities. It attracts clients through the other authors that I mentioned, and all the work is done for you. I know I always get ahead of myself, don't I? I get so excited and then I get ahead of myself. Take it away.
Okay, so this part is my favorite part. So like Galit said, we are going to be doing that, and we're going to be doing this amazing topic called Be Part of the Everyday Woman's Guide to Doing What You Love. And it's 50 women's stories. So it's going to be it's just going to be thrilling. So here's what you get. So I'm going to share with you what you get. You get a 500-word chapter on the topic of your interest, like your passion. And that includes editing. So someone asked about editing. If you want to be a part of this, the editing is done for you, which is nice. You get to have your name, obviously, and your chapter, and your contact information is inside the book. So when people are reading the book and they like what they read, they can reach out and contact you, which is brilliant, especially if you're going to get in front of millions of people, because there's going to be 50 women in this book. So I love that.
I think I also want to share that the chapter title says chapter 1, the chapter title by your name. At the inside the book, imagine the book, you're holding it here. You're going to have your picture, your contact information, only the contact information you approve. So it might be your website, it might be your social media, whatever it is. You're going to have your bio, which is going to be on a page, and then you're going to have your chapter. The best part about this book is it's 50 stories of purpose-driven women. So it really gives you so much room to decide what you want to write about. So it might be how to start your own business. It might be how to be healthy. It might be how to be financially stable. You could pick your topic. You get to pick what you want to speak on. Of course, we get to approve it because we want to make sure it's appropriate for the book. We want to make sure that it meshes with everything else, but we are working to make the chapter yours. You also get to come up with your chapter title. So I think that that's really exciting. I know I'm getting ahead of myself again, but your chapter title is a really big part of the book as well. You are the one that's going to be creating all of this. We are the ones that are going to put you in the book, do the editing, proofreading. You're going to get professional graphics with your picture and a picture of the book saying you're co-author with the title to plaster all over social media. Imagine 50 people doing that, tagging each other. All of you are going to be tagging each other. We put together a social media sheet where everybody's names are going to be there with their links. So we're going to tell you what to write, so that way you can promote. There's also going to be a video about the book. So we're going to be sharing the video. You get an option to have a featured article about you. Excuse me, somebody's coming in. A featured article about you in one of the publishers' magazines. She has 5. You get a 15-minute Facebook Live in our Facebook group. So you're going to we have a group of over 5,000 women called Everyday Woman. You can look it up. Please become a part of it. You probably already are. And you're going to get the opportunity to do a 15-minute Facebook Live in our group that will be in there forever. That promotes you, gives yourself, so basically you share something of value, and then you'll be able to promote yourself. So we're giving you this bonus, this extra thing as part of the book.
Well, and I'd have to say this about that. Right now, there's 5,000 women in this group. As we're growing so rapidly, we're adding 100 and women, like close to
Every
100
day.
every single day.
Yeah.
So I imagine, by the time you're ready to actually get out there and do your Facebook Live, we could be close to 10,000 women.
10,000 people.
Easily.
Yeah, that's the goal. The goal is that will be. I do want to mention before Angela talks about this page, we're looking at a May launch right now, which is really exciting because it'll be before summer. And we'd like to launch this book in May, which means you will have probably until the end of February to write your chapter, which is plenty time. We can even go into March. So we'll be telling you what kind of deadline we're looking at to receive your chapter back from you. So you'll have plenty of time to do that as well. We also are going to, sorry, Ange, these are things we forgot to write down. We're also going to be giving you a structure. You don't have to use it, but some of the women that we work with our anthologies, they like to have some kind of structure to their chapter so they know how to write it. We'll be producing that as well for you. We'll also have a Facebook group. So you'll be part of a private Facebook group where you can go in and you can ask questions related to your chapter. You need help. You want us to guide you. You want us to read it. Angela and I will be reading every single chapter ourselves, giving you back our personal thoughts, experiences. We've done this with a lot of women. You know what? I feel like you should add more here. You know what? Here it's not very clear. So you'll be getting it. We will never change your voice. We will never take away. We'll just look for everything to be appropriate associated with the book and to really promote you in the best light.
The thing that's really nice about the private Facebook community, as well as, when we're out and we're actually starting to promote the book, you'll be able to really connect with the other women inside this community. It becomes really, truly like a sisterhood. So you will see, you'll also find that you may make some really great collaborations, even clients from what you do. So I love that about it. So here's the other thing. You're also going to get VIP access to the Facebook community, Wealthy Women Superstar Authors, because our amazing publisher that's helping us with this is her community. And I want you to know the book will be translated into 13 different languages. And I believe you get 10 different printed books that go with this as well, that you can use to hand out. So that's part of marketing material you can give out.
You also get to purchase the books at wholesale, Angela. Yeah. So you can purchase as many books as you want, and then you can choose to go ahead and use them at your conferences, conventions. I take my books with me everywhere I speak, and I sell them for $15 a piece. So you can sell them. You can even sell them for more, but I do them for $14.99, and I sell them and then I autograph them. So you'll be able to do that as well.
So here's the deal. This is what's going to be really fun. The first 10 women, we already have a few women that have just signed up.
4 women before we even launched this.
So the first 10 women, it's $4.97. Like, this is how the Everyday Woman brand was built, on the premise of, we want to help the everyday woman in her business and in her profession get started, get support in life, because everyday woman is just the everyday woman like you and me, right? So we're making it affordable for the everyday woman. So $4.97, and we also have a payment plan. It's $100 a month for 5 months. So for those of you who want to pay in full, perfect. For those of you who would prefer a payment plan for whatever reason, you can put $100 down. You can go to our website, which is everydaywoman.me, not .com, .me/book. And you can read all about this, everything we've shared. Now,
and more.
Oh, I mean, there's so much more.
And I do want to share a few things just to reiterate, okay? The proofreading and editing. Also, our publisher will run a best-selling book campaign, which means we will choose a launch date, and then it'll be sent out to hundreds of thousands of people, because our publisher has that 250,000 or more on her list. And we have our own lists, and we have our own social media. And then you will have 49 other women helping you launch the book on that day, because then you become a best-selling author. You are part of this book. You are now a best-selling author. We have no doubt that's going to happen, especially with 50 women. And what happens on Amazon is we take screenshots of #1 in all the different categories that we're going to hit. And it's really exciting because then that's how you sell the book. Also remember that this book is going to be your business card. I'm part of the Everyday Woman's Guide to Doing What You Love. And it's with 49 other women. And this is my chapter. So people buy it. Remember, anybody that buys it, your chapter's in that book. So it's not just the people that you know that are going to buy it, because of course people that you know are going to buy it. It's look at how many people that don't know who you are that are going to buy it. And Angela, did I miss anything with the bonuses?
No, I'm going to share what the bonus is.
Okay, great.
This makes me very, very excited. So one of the things is very large social networks. So what we're going to do is this. So not only the Everyday Woman brand, but my own brand and Galit's brand, we have large social networks. So what we want to do is, if you sign up and join us by Sunday at midnight Pacific, you can make a short promotional type of video. So once again, I don't want you to just get on and say, here's my offer. I want you to give a little value, and then you can make an offer. And then we're going to take that video and we're going to push it out through all of the Everyday Woman social networks. So I'm very, very excited about this. So that is our bonus for this, along with everything else that we shared with you, is that you get to make a video and showcase who you are and get in front of thousands. I think we have over 250,000, maybe 300,000 social network, like between like everything that we have.
Yeah, and this will not be on the website. This is only through Sunday. So if you go ahead and become an author, then we will write it down and know that you get this extra special bonus, because this is not on the website. It's only through the video. Now, ladies, this is what I want to share with you, and then I'm going to let Angela wrap up. We are sending out this video tonight. We're putting it in our group with over 5,000 women, and we're sending it out to our email list, which is 10,000 women. Okay. What happens at this point is we are sending it out to 15,000 women. So when we hit 10, which we're only 6 women away, our price goes up. It's very common in anthologies. Our price will go up. Welcome, Arlene. We're excited to have you. She just joined. You rock. And I want you more than anything to recognize that it's one of those things where we're very honest. You don't sign up and grab the $497. The next price we're going up to is $597, then $697. And we're doing this with every 10 women. Why? It's economics. It's supply and demand. It just makes sense to do this. We've done this with all of our books. So if this is something at all that you're interested in, today you only have to pay $100. You will have 5 months to pay that off. But the opportunity and the shelf life of this book will be way longer. You're going to be milking this book for a long time. We're going to be consistently sharing it in our group. It's not like, okay, the book launched, we're done. You're going to get an opportunity as one of our first authors, because this is our first anthology for Everyday Woman. We've done this on our own, but never together. So it's quite exciting. And we know that everyone on the call is definitely a fit for this book. And we would love to have you, especially if you're purpose-driven and you have a passion, you want to inspire and empower other women. This is the way to go. And this is a great start to potentially writing your own book one day.
Absolutely. And I'm here to tell you that I remember when I wrote my first book, it was really scary for me. Writing my story was very overwhelming. It was just something that I'm so grateful I did it, but it was hard for me, very hard, and even very emotionally hard. I think that if I would have had this opportunity and knew that something like this existed back then, that it would have been an easier process for me, and it would have been a funner process, because quite frankly, when I wrote my book, it wasn't fun. This was fun, being part of the
you just hand it over.
Yeah.
It's like, and we give so much support in the Facebook group that, hey, Galit, I'm stuck. Here's my outline. Help. Hey, Angela, I don't know where to go. Can you give me? Can you read it and tell me what you think? That's part of this program. That's why we're going to have the Facebook group, so you guys can go ahead and put it in there. Your story is going to be public, so you
Karina,
should be okay putting it there.
Karina, you asked, when someone buys the book, do authors get anything as revenue? So here's the deal. The book is like, you can buy the book at wholesale and sell the book yourself. That's how you can make revenue off this book.
We get asked that a lot, and my answer to you, Karina, is this. The book revenue goes to help for pay the publisher. The publisher is not inexpensive. She's going to be handling 50 authors for us. She's going to be publishing a book this thick. So the revenue is very minor. But when you need to understand something, people that make money for books are people that are well-known authors. Coaches typically don't make money from books, because that money has already been spent on putting the book together. And Angela and I are both very well-known business coaches, and I have to tell you, it's very common. So, and also the revenue for a book is about $5 a piece. So we're not talking about a huge amount of money. There are several times. Oh, perfect. Yes, yes. What we would do, Leanne, I hope I'm saying that right, is you can share the topics in the Facebook group, and you can say, I have these 5 topics, and then we'd look at who you are, learn a little bit about you, and say, we really think this is a fit for you. We're going to help you if you need the help. If you know exactly what you want to write about, you can ask, hey, is this a fit? Yeah, absolutely. That completely works for the book.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, because I want anybody that wants to ask any questions off camera to be able to do that. Thank you to everyone that's watching. Make sure to go to everydaywoman.me/book. Remember, we only have now, after early, 5 spots left at the $497. So you want to jump on board, because once we hit that, we're going to $597.